From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for allowing me to sit in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read up on the SOR Newswire, and soon much, much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Mighty Moose Beard Oil Company. It's 100% Canadian, 100% natural, taking care of beards around the world. Visit MightyMooseBeard.com. Don't forget to use promo code SOR2019 today. Tonight we take flight and head into the astral realm, where the ghosts and aliens frolic together. Some to torture and annoy people, others to help those on their spiritual journey. It's a place the majority of us do not believe exists, nor have we ever wondered about going there, wherever there is. Tonight, former United States Marine Megan Gehring joins us from Washington State to discuss about what it's like to astral travel from her body into the great unknown, how she was trained, why she decided this was her way of giving back to people. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Megan Gehring, good friend of this show, good friend of the paranormal. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I am great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you very much. And it was a pleasure right before we went on the air to talk to your husband, Dan, there. He has what we call a real power stash, high quality lip blade there. And we like a good mustache around here. So, we absolutely love you guys for it. And, this has turned into a friendship outside of this whole radio thing that's going on. Tell me how you got into this. What made you decide to go from United States Marine, retired, to going to battle aliens in the astral realm?
Well, first I have to correct you. Retired. I do not qualify for retirement. So I'm a veteran. Retirement, that is a title that is earned. So we'll go from there. Basically, while I was in the Marines, I got involved down in Yuma, Arizona with a paranormal group, and we started doing a ghost tour out in town, and then we would take on clients. And so it was very much boots on the ground, and from there, I realized that a lot of things from my childhood didn't seem so strange. I've always lived in haunted houses. I've always had contact with spirits. I've always been very sensitive to other even physical body beings. So, from there, it just kind of blossomed, and I found it was something much like a hobby, but I was very passionate about it. So I continued. My husband was very supportive. He actually went on a bunch of investigations with us. Unfortunately, spirits really like him. So he was getting poked and jabbed, and he incurred some marks, on his lower calf or whatnot, and we always checked for sticks, but it was always spiritual activity that was the cause. And so from there, I ended up getting out of the Marines. I came home to Washington State, and I kind of took some time off, but it was always, again, a very large passion of mine. Spirits would come in and out, and I would communicate with them through a meditative state as best as I could. But I just actually learned Astral this time last year, and that was thanks to Richard Benek, and he is associated with Forest Moon Paranormal. But basically, they offered a Astral training course, and I took it, and the rest is history, pretty much. I found it very easy, and we ended up just, doing some cases, and I formed, an Astral team. I now have a new Astral partner. But other than that, we find Astral very pleasurable, very helpful, and it also helps us to connect with clients globally.
I don't know how that works. We're going to find out later on in this show what it's all about. In your experiences with the paranormal and then moving into the astral realm, what's the biggest difference between hunting ghosts on the ground and going to a location comparatively to sitting in your recliner or your hot tub and just manifesting and concentrating and sending your consciousness elsewhere?
Well, the really neat thing about physical boots on the ground versus astral is I can actually see them and interact with them on a completely different plane. And I think that is actually beneficial to either assisting a spirit crossover or complete removal of something like a negative entity.
Interesting. So when I didn't know that about you, that you were able to see spirits around you. I did not know that.
Oh, actually, in physical, there were several times I had actually seen like mist form around me, or, you could definitely tell when something entered the room and maybe a shadow crossed a path of light. I was very sensitive to that, especially, the physical reaction, the cold chills, the hair standing on end, and possibly even like a passing breeze. So I have always had that knack since I was small, and, it was never dismissed as a child, I should say. Like, my mom was never one to be like, oh, that's nonsense. She would just kind of let it be.
Did you feel lucky that your mother would allow you to do that? Because for so many parents out there, they try to correct the child in schooling them in what is imagination and what is not.
Oh, absolutely. I'm grateful for my mother being as lenient. I mean, we were raised in a very religious community, and it would have been very easy for her to basically, suggest that I needed more Sunday school or something of that sort. Except she just let me be, so I'm very grateful. My brother never had an issue, so that was also very odd, but also my grandma seems to be very sensitive, and that was always one of the quirky family things, because grandma would get a cold chill at Thanksgiving and whoop, so would I, kind of thing. So I guess, family lines, that's totally possible, and that might be the case, my case, I should say. But I'm just really grateful for my mom for not really dismissing it. She didn't super encourage it, but, she really just was accepting of everything.
That's very cool. Very cool. So when you started seeing ghosts as a kid, do you remember the first one you saw or the one that startled you the most as a child?
Yes. So we had just moved to a new house, and I was 12, approaching 13, and we were nearing my 13th birthday. And when we first looked at the house, it was really calm, really peaceful. It kind of seemed dark, though. For all the windows, it seemed really, really dark. After moving in, and, we had to do some repairs to the house before we could actually, move all of our stuff in. We redid the upstairs carpeting, and we took out a weird door and made it a wall, and just minor. We painted. We were ready to move in. It took us about 2 or 3 weeks to do all the minor construction. Well, after that occurred, I kept getting awoke at night. And it was really interesting because I started to actually see a girl similar in age in spirit form, and she would talk to me, and she would actually tell me her name. Her name was Samantha, and she told me she had died on the property a really long time ago, and this was her house. But she liked my wall color, and, it was so cool to have an upstairs, and because when she lived there, it didn't have an upstairs. So, it was interesting because that was the first time in my life at the age of 12 that, here I am, I'm seeing something that shouldn't be there. And I'm communicating with something that should not be there. So that was the monumental, life-changing experience that I had.
When you had that, did all of a sudden, right after that, everything started to spark for you? You started getting more activity, or did it take time before your next experience?
Oh, there was quite frequent activity. It did not help that the hill above the house, so behind the house, there was a big hill. On top of that hill is a cemetery. So once I kind of lit that beacon, oh, hey, I can communicate. There was a lot of pass-through activity. And by pass-through activity, I mean just wandering spirits. They did not belong to the property, did not belong to the house. They were kind of just walking through, checking in kind of thing, because I was acknowledging them. And basically, that lasted for a couple years, and then I started to push it out of my mind. And so I kind of had a high peak in my life, and then I kind of just let it go a little bit. And by doing that, I was able, to fly through high school and, decide that I wanted to join the Marines. But before I joined the Marines, I moved to Hawaii. And Hawaii is so haunted. Yeah, so it's just been a lifelong contact with the spirits. And, I honestly did not know until recently how expansive and how varied the spirit world is.
Well, I do have to ask, since you lived in Hawaii and you mentioned how haunted it is, what kind of experience did you have on the islands there?
Oh, man. So they have Minihuni there, which are the little people, and they are there. You can see them sometimes. Well, I can see them sometimes. I'm not sure how many other people have seen them. They are considered lore, but I have seen them. I've seen them driving, and then all of a sudden it seems like a shadow is on a tree, and it's very little, but then it moves. And it was one of those things where it was like, it's just a mini hoonie. And they are actually responsible for building a lot of the waterways and cavernous systems that are on all of the islands. They were supposedly brought there a long time ago, before the Kingdom of Hawaii was built, and they set up the aqueduct system. And they were supposedly brought from, the South Asia, all that, Indonesia, and they came over. So there's that, and then there was something called the Night Marchers. Dave, the Night Marchers terrified me. I will tell you that. I actually rented a house on a hill on the big island of Hawaii, the Hilo side. I would wake up almost every other night, and you could hear them coming through. And what is really creepy is there was a lava tube right behind my mailbox that went under the house. So I, one night, mustered up my courage, went out there and actually stuck my flashlight down the lava tube just to make sure that the noise was not coming from the actual lava tube. It was not. Nice. It was actually coming from the forest behind me. And every now and then you could see an orb-like flame that was through the trees. And the vibrational level that would occur with these night marchers was very ominous, very low, very ritualistic. So
now, for people who don't know what the night marchers were, what's the history story about them?
So that again is lore, and basically they would do a crusade type march at night and basically flush missionaries off the island. To my understanding, that is what I was told. I cannot find much on the night marchers, but I had a Hawaiian neighbor who would sit out there and he would wax the surfboard. He actually made surfboards, so it was pretty cool. He was always outside doing something with a surfboard. But he saw me one morning This is like 4 o'clock in the morning before the sun's even up. He's outside. He's waxing his board because he's going to hit the beach. And he sees me, you know, little crazy Holly running around with a flashlight. He was like, "Hi, you found the night marchers, eh?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I did." I was like, "Okay, wait, what are night marchers?" And he laughed. And he just shook his head. And he was like, "Oh, man, you've got so much to learn if you're actually going to live here." And I'm like, "Okay, well, entertain me." And he basically said that they do, like, night patrols. And it's very ritual. And it's all spirit form. And he did say that some people had even taken it to a, like, lore come to life. And they had actually started marching through, you know, coconut groves or, you know, macanut fields. And it was real people actually doing this. But in my case, this was not real people, because as soon as I would address it, they would go elsewhere. So it was definitely not real people in my case. It was, and the grove that was behind the house was not that thick. But at night, it looked like it went an endless amount up the mountain. I mean, I lived on the side of Mauna Kea. I mean, it was eerie, just the feel of it. I mean, that low, ominous vibration. I felt like there were war drums marching in my direction.
That must have been intense to hear.
It was. It was. So there was that, and then there's a couple buildings, of course. You know, there was one, and anybody from Hilo, Hawaii, is going to agree. There is a place called Baby's Cry. That is creepier. That is probably the creepiest building in my experience ever, anywhere. Yuma, Arizona. I've been to Yuma Territorial Prison. I've been to places in San Diego, some places in Florida. Yes, Florida. Florida's crazy, too. But yeah,
Incredible.
Baby's Cry. Baby's Cry in Hawaii was a former abortion clinic, and it had a different feel, I will tell you. And it closed down, and it had been vacant for about 20 years when I was there. And the feel off that building was crazy, and it was white brick, and there were red lights inside, and you could actually hear laughing from outside.
Oh, that's eerie.
So, yes, and it was like nurses having a good time, and they were just laughing, but it was a really strange, very cackly laugh. But it was projected so well, you could definitely tell that it was not a human standing behind the door of a locked building. So, yeah, it was pretty insane, and you couldn't pay me to go back to that building.
Megan Gehring is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking astral travel and the paranormal tonight. So when you made your way into the United States Marine Corps, and you're at Parris Island doing your basic, where I think you did it.
Oh yeah.
How haunted was that?
Okay, so the new parts of Parris Island, they're okay. The old part, which is technically the rifle range now, I don't think I slept the whole 2 weeks that we were on the rifle range. I kept getting woke up at night from stuff moving around in the barracks that was definitely not human. There are portions of Parris Island that are still to cobblestone, and to march across that, you are not marching alone ever. Like you can feel millions of feet that have marched with you right there. It's interesting. The old chow hall at the rifle range, that place is kind of crazy. There is an abandoned airstrip that we use for the Marine Corps Crucible, and that is like the graduation, determining graduation factor, I should say. You have to complete the Crucible, and you basically are living out there on this abandoned airstrip, and that place is actually really exciting. It's not creepy, but you can definitely tell it was of extreme use back in the day. And I feel like the glory of it has faded, and that was kind of sad. But, Paris Island is really neat. It's rich with history. You can tell great people had been developed there. You could tell. You're basically fueling, the root of the core into people, and you're making Marines. And so that is a very strong vibe, if that makes sense. Like, you are actually building a Marine when you go to Paris Island. So for, that to kind of be throughout the entire area, it's a feeling that really resonates.
How intimidating is that place, Paris Island? For those of us who will never go there, for those of us who've only heard about it or watched documentaries or videos about it, I mean, I look at that and I've seen, some of the videos about drill sergeants and breaking down, new recruits. And, oh, my gosh, I don't know if I could ever handle something like that. We only got about 90 seconds.
Oh. Okay, well, I would like to say you're asking the wrong person. I think in this life, is meant to go and be a Marine. However, I saw my platoon mates fall apart. A lot of the movies are real. The yellow footprints, they are real. When you stand on the yellow footprints, you get a sense like, I'm here for a reason. And I think that says a lot of it. Whether the reason is to succeed or fail, that is surely up to you.
Interesting. Oh, wow. So when you're there and you were saying that you could feel the thousands of footsteps underneath your own feet, what does that feel like?
It's a very vibrational wave. And it's like the cobblestone is alive. There's a heat to it. Even on the coldest day, there is a heat to it. It feels like you're having to push your foot through like a sludge because the vibration is so thick with history, with repetition. So your feet feel heavier when you're on this cobblestone path. And it's something that you would have to go and experience, because I don't know if I'm accurately describing what it's like.
I think you're doing just great. Megan Gehring is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are getting into astral travel and the paranormal. Maybe throw in a little aliens on the side. Coming up on Spaced Out Radio. Let's turn up the woo. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rockin'. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Every night on Space Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Reminder, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we got a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. We're talking astral travel, paranormal, aliens, UFOs. Getting into it tonight with investigator and researcher out of Washington State, Megan Gehring. Megan, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, right before the break, we were talking about the ghosts of Parris Island because you are a former Marine, and thank you so much for serving. Appreciate that. And your husband, too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. How did being a Marine prepare you for what you are dealing with now in the paranormal?
Oh, man. Honestly, mental compartmentalization is great. To go in and have the ability to really vet or assess a situation, that is another key component. There's been many astral cases where I pick up on a very minute detail that everybody else has not. And so I'm like, wait, I'm a little slow, of course. I'm a little slow in astral, but my attention to detail, I'm very proud of that because I search everywhere. And if one thing is out of place, and sometimes entities hide, so it's one of those things where if you're really focused on a spot because you're drawn to it, and it's just like I sit and I wait, and if it moves, oh hey, we've got a moving target. So the other thing is, I really wasn't going to get into this, but combat. When you actually have to combat in astral, my skills in life that I was trained in the Marine Corps through, our McMAP program, which is the Marine Corps Martial Arts program, that is very valuable too, because I can replicate a situation and disarm or basically banish an entity using my Marine Corps martial arts tactics.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give a shout out to a brand new listener here listening in from Hong Kong, Discerning Divinity in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us from all the way over in Hong Kong tonight. Thank you. Now, now let's get into the whole astral travel, because you got into it through Eric Cooper, who's a very good friend of this show. Great beard as well. Fantastic beard. Also the leader and founder of Forest Moon Paranormal. Tell us about the training going into astral travel. What was that like?
Very regimented. Richard Benak heads that up. He offers it. You can find it on FMP, but he offers it free if you are willing to dedicate your time to his course. It is a 4-week course. He does send you some pre-astral exercises. Basically, you get one new exercise a week once the course starts. Like I said, it's very regimented. He expects teamwork. He expects a report. And then you have a call-in session where you guys will all do a group astral. It's very beneficial. And I love his motto. His motto makes sense. So knowing astral now, it makes sense. So his motto is fake it till you make it. And I found that very interesting because a lot of people that were new to the course were struggling, and they were like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And he just kept saying, fake it till you make it. And basically what that means is to use your imagination and imagine yourself astraling. Because once you get in the habit of imagining yourself astraling, it's actually more easier to actually astral, believe it or not. And I watched a lot of people blossom. I had already been uncontrolled astraling for, at least a few months before I took his course. I thought I was having extremely vivid dreams, but every time I would wake up, I felt like I would jerk awake. Well, that was my astral body coming back to my physical body. And I would just be panicked because I was in very precarious situations and military bases kind of thing. I was like, where am I? What kind of dream was that? So to calm down and actually have someone instruct you on how to get where you're going to a specific location was priceless. And Richard is very patient. And basically, if you dedicate your time and you do his coursework, anyone pretty much can be a successful astral participant.
So when you are going through this course and you're going through this type of training, what are you seeing? What are you feeling at this point for people who have no clue because they've never done it themselves?
Okay, so what am I seeing? Okay, so one of the pre-astral exercises was to just go around your room. So you relax on your couch or in your chair, whatever, and basically he would instruct you. It's almost like self-hypnosis. So he would do a countdown, and he would walk you through steps. Okay, with this breath, you're going to, relax your feet all the way up to your knees. And then with the next breath, you inhale, you exhale. And then from your knees, to your midsection, you feel that part relax. And, then you take another breath. And so from your midsection up to your chest, that part will relax. And so it's incrementally relaxing your body through stages as you are actually slowing your breathing and clearing your mind. And so from there, what would happen is he would ask you to let your astral self go. It's okay to leave your body. Send your astral self out into the room that you were in. And so I was in my living room when I was doing this. I actually got out of my body, and he actually on the recording said, if you're comfortable, you can turn around and look at yourself. Well, I never did. Because I wanted to go see if the TV really looked like my TV, and I wanted to see if the pictures on the wall matched in my head. And then I decided that the living room was boring, and I went into the kitchen. When I went into the kitchen, I was noticing things on the counter, and I was noticing the light that was actually coming through my kitchen window. And I really basically took a mental image of how that light, the sunlight, looked on my kitchen countertop. And I was actually really excited because I was getting a very grainy image. It kind of looked like, mid-90s TV with not so clear of a picture. It was kind of grainy. It wasn't super clear, but I could see color here and there. So that's why I wanted to really focus in on the sunlight. And it was only a 20-minute session, self-guided, and Richard even called us back to our bodies, and he walked us through coming back in from our astral self, putting it back into our physical body, and then going through a reverse to where you actually are coming back to your body. You feel your fingers, you feel your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, you feel your knees flex, and you feel your toes wiggle. And then all of a sudden he goes, 4, 3, 2, wake up. My eyes shot open, recording ended, and I was so excited. I jumped off the couch, I ran into the kitchen. The light looked exactly the same. And I knew at that moment that I had actually achieved a controlled astral, because there's no way that I could predict the time of day at that moment that the light was casting in, hitting my countertop, and then underglowing the salt and pepper that was sitting there on the counter. I could have not predicted that. And so I was really excited. And it was a big victory for me. So, and I think, Richard Benak, because without his instruction, I don't think I would have had the confidence to actually continue with Astral.
Megan Gehring is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking about astral travel. For people who may not understand the concept of astral, what it is, what it does, what is that like, that feeling of leaving your body?
Oh, man. It's a little dizzying. So when my astral self leaves physical body, I do kind of get a wobbly, dizzy feel, but I understand that as projecting my astral self out. So, some days it's a little bit more wobbly than others. That also has to do with my mental, frame at the moment, because if I know I'm going into an overwhelming case, sometimes I'm really, nervous about it, or cautious, I guess is the better word. If I'm cautious about a case, I almost feel a little bit more unstable. But then once I go astral, things smooth out. I really focus on my vision. I focus on the interpretive feelings of the vibration of the environment. And so if there's something that's really, low vibration, I know it's a certain thing. If it's really high vibration, I know it's a different thing. So once I'm in the situation, I can kind of understand what I'm dealing with. But there's no accurate way to foretell that until you get there, if that makes sense.
Not really to me, because I've never done it before. I'm struggling in trying to picture this. When you leave your body, is there a cord attached to you, or are you, like we hear in out-of-body experiences, or are you on your own free floating?
Okay, so it largely depends. I like to envision that I do have a silver cord. Therefore, I have a silver cord, and it usually comes from my head, my astral body head, and it goes to my physical self. I use that as a safety net. I do know people that don't believe in a cord, and therefore they don't carry a cord, if that makes any sense. It's about what best suits you when it comes to astral. Everybody has their own technique. Certain people can have similar techniques, and, me and my friend, or me and my neighbor can even have two completely different techniques. But if it's successful for her and my way is successful, then, I'm not going to argue about it and say, well, you should have a cord. Not everybody has a cord. I've actually astraled with someone who was like, you don't need a cord. It's just your astral self. Like, you float like a balloon. And I was like, oh, okay, if that works for you. I like to have the silver cord. Richard Benek actually taught us about silver cord, so I just don't see the need to get rid of it.
Come on, be a rebel.
I know. But what if I float away? What if I float into the omniverse and I'm never seen again? I would kind of be sad.
What if you don't?
What if I don't? Well, then I guess I don't need my safety cord. Yeah.
I think for a lot of people out there, let's look at the skeptical side of this for a second, okay? Because there are many out there listening to this who will say, girl, what are you smoking? Girl, what are you drinking? Where are you coming up with this? Why are you coming up with this? Why would you believe that you're in some sort of daydream where your mind is picturing this? This makes no sense. How do you combat that?
Well, I would try to say, I see your point, because, trust me, when I first heard about Astral, I was like, what? Oh, yeah, you just go, and it's like in your head. And I'm like, okay, Imagination for the win. No. I have had a case to where it was so accurate, I actually scared myself. So I would just present, factual information. And I mean, I'm not going to force my beliefs. I'm not going to try to say, no, astral's real. All I know is that my clients are improved. Whenever I go in on an astral case, they are improved. I do client work. I really don't do astral for fun. I mean, you're not going to catch me astraling on a beach because I want a vacation. I don't know why I don't do that, but maybe I should. But I enjoy it. I enjoy working with clients who genuinely need help. I really feel accomplished when the client reports back and is just very impressed and is like, I don't know how you did that. I don't know what you did, but whatever you did, it worked. So that is what I'm trying to achieve. Yes, it does seem kind of like a dreamlike state, but you have to remember there are things in this life that we cannot see, and there are layers. There's dimensions to this. I'm working on an energy level. Can you see my phone call shooting through the sky and connecting to you for purposes of this interview? No, you cannot. So why am I able to call you, or you call me and we're having this interview? Just because I can't see my phone's energy string connecting to you, is this phone call not happening? So that is kind of like the element or the plane in which I am working. I'm working on an energetic level when I go astral. I am going outside of my body, so my astral body, which is pure energy, can interact with the energies that are in the environment at my designated location.
And with that, you can go anywhere.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Now, I do have a few no places. Okay. Just because. But, yes, I've heard people, they've gone off-world, they've gone out of this universe astrally. I have not done that. I stay here on Earth and I help clients. But I have been Australia, Ireland, I've been all around the U.S., I've been to Japan once, trying to think. I went to Mexico.
And this is all through astral travel?
Yes. Yes.
So how do you get there? Do you fly? Do you, do you flap your arms and start?
Okay, funny story. I had an astral partner a while ago, and I was like, what is taking you so long? Because I was like there waiting for him. And he was like, I float. I could not believe it. He was like literally like in a hot air balloon, like in his head floating to the location. I was like, really? I mean, I do what's called a zoop. I don't know what the technical term for it is. I'm calling it a zoop. I think about a location. I usually request either an address of the location or a photo of the residence, and I can zero in on it. I just, put myself into the self-hypnotized meditative state, and I tell my astral self to go there. And I'm there. It's like I open my astral eyes and I'm there. There was one time during training with Richard Benek that I actually took off from my residence here in Washington, and I flew, and it looked like looking down from an airplane. I flew, and we met at the Statue of Liberty. But, yeah, that was the one time I actually imagined flying, I guess. So or envisioned flying, but I like zooping better. It's quicker. It's more efficient.
We only got about 2.5 minutes left with you in hour number 1. Megan Gehring is our guest tonight. We're talking astral travel. So how do you get back to your body? How do you know where you are?
Well, lucky for me, I haven't had an issue finding it yet. At least I don't think so. But I rely on my silver cord. So if in doubt, I will grab onto my silver cord and I will command my astral self to return. I have previously actually zooped back to my residence and actually pulled myself through the roof and found my body and then entered back into my body. Let's see, trying to think what else I have done. You're very aware in astral, at least I am. I don't spend too long in astral. The longest I've spent in astral in one stint was about 3 hours. And 3 hours was way too long for me. I think after about an hour and a half, people need to give themselves a break, because I did start to mix up what was in astral and what was physically around me. I mean, you do still have a physical sense of your body. It's comparable to right before you fall asleep and your body feels like it cannot move, but you can kind of still hear things in the room with you physically. So that is what my physical body feels like. It feels like I'm asleep almost, and my body's really heavy. And my astral is what is getting the main focus in my brain. So too much time in astral. Okay. Too much time in...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, too much time in astral puts a strain on your physical as well as your astral body, and you can kind of get mixed signals.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you, is the physical side of everything, because that has to be draining. That has to be tiring, and that's something we can get into. And Megan, we got a ton of questions, a plethora of questions coming from the audience in the chat rooms and on Twitter coming up for you. Megan Gehring is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking astral travel all night long. Let's astral together with the Marine and old Davey SOR. We'll be back with hour 2 after this.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime. The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi to everyone listening in on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, and we're on in Ridgecrest, California on KZFX 93.7 FM. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Nebelwerfer. Nebelwerfer is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on the daily news with the SOR Newswire, brought to you by our news director, Captain Shirk. We're talking astral travel tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Megan Gehring is our guest tonight. She's a former U.S. Marine. She is an astral traveler by day and by night. And she works with the paranormal and people who are having a little troubles with ghosts, aliens, you name it. Megan, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I want to get to some audience questions here because they're really backing up here. All right.
Okay.
Sandra is asking, is there a difference between astral travel and astral dreams?
Okay, so astral dreams. I believe that's a loaded question, Sandra. But basically, from what I understand, you can have a lucid dream. However, you are aware that you're dreaming. Astral dreams also could mean that you're uncontrollably astraling. That means you are leaving your body and you are perceiving this as a dream. So astral is different from the both. So with the lucid dream, it would be incredibly vivid. You could see, smell, touch, hear, but you know it's a dream. Uncontrolled astral would be you all of a sudden are body aware. Again, can see, touch, smell things around you, and you also can have an emotional, physical reaction to what is in the astral component. The thing is, if you did not send yourself somewhere, you are now uncontrolled. Now, with astral, I have the ability to control most of the time where I go. So I am in charge of where I'm going, and my body was actually not asleep when I sent myself there. So that would be the difference. So you can have a sleeping astral, but I wouldn't call it an astral dream. I would actually classify that, from my definition, as an uncontrolled astral. And you can prevent that by doing a very thorough grounding session before you go to bed. Either clear your mind and ground out, or do a meditation type practice before you get into bed.
All right, let's move on to another one from the Robinator, who is asking, what's the danger if you cannot find your body coming back?
Oh, man. You know, it's one of my worries that I just kind of put away. I have heard that people can get very injured in astral. So if you are out there floating around and something attacks you, or maybe, you know, you run into something that can harm you, your body, in theory, can experience physical harm. That would be my number one danger, is if you are floating around there in astral and your astral self is being under attack and you cannot come to your body is still going to have effects of that attack. So it's very wise to always maintain your location of your physical self. That way you can come home. Because if you can leave and say, let's go to Australia, well, you should know that your body is in your bed or on your couch. So hopefully you've either taken your safety cord like I do, or you can remember your address. Because from what I understand, the physical repercussions from astraling can be quite severe. And I actually know several people that have ended up in the hospital. I myself have been scratched, and I have had a bruise on my arm from astral.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. It is. It is. It throws your mind for a loop. Take my word for it. It throws your mind for a loop.
All right. Human Carl is asking, how long have you stayed out of your body?
Longest session was 3 hours. However, I learned from that. I would recommend any person starting astral only go 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 max if your ability is solid. Work up. Build that endurance in astral, because your vision does tire. Your mental capacity does tire. I will never do another 3-hour astral ever again. It was exhausting. I will set it for like an hour and a half. And I've been doing astral consecutively for over a year.
How many days a week do you do it?
Oh, man. It varies case by case. There was a point in time I was astraling every single day. Now I astral anywhere between 1 or 2 times on the low end to 3 or 4 times, but I make sure to give myself plenty of rest, keep very well hydrated, and also work on my spiritual self. Because if you are not taking care of your spiritual self while you astral, you actually are not benefiting anybody, especially if you're doing casework like what I do. Because if my spiritual vibrations are low or dingy, I'm really not that great at helping somebody. If I'm not bright and shiny and, high vibrations, I need extra energy to focus on the situation. So I need to keep myself spiritually in check and, keep learning with it.
Well, I'm going to go on to another question from Robin, who is saying, if Dave, a.k.a. me, were to have astral traveled, would I find Carl the alien? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that's not a question for me.
I don't know. I've never astraled before. Why are you silent?
But would you?
I probably would. I would go find him if I could. I totally would.
I'd like to meet Carl.
So would I. I. Met
he's
other
almost
aliens?
famous.
You met any other aliens?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah, I have met a few.
Tell me about these two tall dudes that you have met before. What are they like?
Well, they're Team Dave. They're definitely Team Dave. They are older race. They showed me actually a series of portals, which I found very valuable. They showed me that they originated from somewhere past Orion, and they were showing me a series of portals. They had like 4 between there and here, and it was really interesting because they actually portaled from their craft here to terrestrial land, and I found that interesting. I was like,
where did you find them?
So
where did you find them? Tell our audience.
Right outside the captain's chair. Believe it or not. At the SOR studio. So they were there. They're fans. They are fans of Dave.
Yeah. Yes.
They are. Yes.
I know. It's part of the weird... You know what? I often brag about the weirdness that happens around here. You have actually astral traveled to my house where SOR headquarters is. Tell people what you have seen here, just to give them a lowdown on the paranormal Kmart blue light special that is around my property.
Oh, a blue light special is rather fitting. Literally, the captain had a pathway of spirits traveling through it, which was very interesting. I swear, we had Sasquatch watching us from the woodline. There's a fire elemental. There were some fae, even though they were not very sociable. They were kind of the stabby kind. So, Dave, no gnomes. Can you believe that? He had no gnomes. There was a trolley werewolf thing. Yeah. So you had a dark entity too. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, you had a dark entity too.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. So
yeah,
it was interesting. But no, you literally had a walkway straight up your driveway to the woods. It was really interesting. Not many people were stopping, but the flow of activity was very palpable.
I'm just laughing here. I'm just sitting here laughing here.
Well, this is your story. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that trolley werewolf thing. It was little. It was snarly. It had the fuzziest, weird ears. But, yeah, that thing... I mean, it would have been cute if it wasn't so ugly. It
sounds fun.
It was gnarly. Yeah, I was like, what is this? And I didn't know if it was going to attack or what, but it was pretty shy.
Let's move on here because Human Carl is asking, have you ever physically touched someone while in astral and then verified with that person?
So, okay, interesting. I have been reported to that my touch felt like a hot wave of energy, but it didn't seem like a physical touch. And I notice it with more sensitive clients. They will actually tell me that they felt me come into the room. So I find that interesting because my energy actually translates like a spirit walking into their room, except it's warmer. It's not the cold gust that, would be indicative of like a negative entity. It is more of a warm, fuzzy vibration that they've reported. So yes, I have had clients, quite a few, report that, I'm feeling touched. And, wait, it's a warm touch. I'm like, it's me. So that's also why communication with the client is incredibly important, because if they are sensitive and I touch them, that's kind of a freak out moment.
Makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Let's head on over to Twitter here for a couple of seconds. Greco is asking, Megan, have you ever thought about gathering some scientific data during a projection, almost like a sleep study if possible, to help quantify this paranormal ability? The field could sure use it.
Oh, now that would be interesting. That would really be interesting. I would myself love to see those results. I have read results about deep meditation, and when you, excuse me, when you are in a deep meditative state, you actually access previously unused portions of your brain. So I think that's really neat. Like, if Astral did the same thing, I'd be like, ooh, I got 1% more on my brain capacity. Like, that would be really neat. Thank you, Rico. That is an outstanding question. However, I wouldn't even know where to go, except for like a university.
All right, let's move on. You know what? I was gonna leave this one out, but Uncle Dale, who has an incredible power stash, you never know who's asking the question, Dale or his mustache. Power lip blade. He said, because we used your in the promo for you, we used a picture of you holding one of your chickens. Okay, and it's a great photo. Yeah. It's a fantastic photo. So Dale is asking, can you take a pet chicken with you when you astral?
You know, I have not pulled a chicken. I've not pulled a chicken into astral with me, but I've pulled somebody else into astral with me. Now, if that chicken was willing and complying, maybe they might come with me. But on the flip side of that, I have astraled out to my chickens.
Okay.
So, yeah, just to make sure that they're okay, away. You know. Rustle in the coop, yeah. Yeah, and, you know, hearing a total ruckus in the coop, I don't want to, you know, get dressed at 2 o'clock in the morning and tromp out there through snow. So, you know, just make sure everything's okay.
All right. John on Twitter is asking, have you ever read Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of the Body and Far Journeys books? All of your questions will be answered.
Yeah. Now, that book was recently recommended to me. I have not read that, but it is on my I really should do this list. So thank you for the reminder, because that is something I have been recommended by somebody who is better and more experienced in astral than myself. So I would take their advice and even say that is a very great recommendation.
All right, back to Greco here for a second. Asking, Megan, when you astral project, do you or can you go forward or backward in time to see things from a unique perspective, not dreaming like through another's eyes almost?
Yes, Greco, yes. I can tweak time. Not everybody in astral can, I guess. I actually did a cold case when I was still with FMP. I went back and did a cold case murder from 1973. I wish you guys should, you know, see this photo that I came up with, my astral interpretation of the person who committed the murder. So I had a very clear image of what the suspect looked like. The woman who contacted me actually had a photo of the person that she suspected, and they matched to a T minus about 40 years difference. Because, mind you, this murder was in 1973. This man is still alive. She took 3 days to respond to me because she kept pulling up the picture and going, no way. She didn't come up with that. No way. And so when she finally replied, she goes, I thought I was crazy. I was like, what? She thought she was crazy, is what she was saying. And because she could not believe how accurate my rendering was of her suspect that she had a real photo of. I put them side by side, and that was the scary astral moment that I realized astral is accurate.
All right, we got time for one more question. We got about 3 minutes left. Nikki is asking, have you ever had any experiences with Sasquatch, whether it's telepathic, in person, astral, or anything else?
Oh, how fitting. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, actually last night I had a telepathic communication with Sasquatch after hearing a very Sasquatchy noise. I was speaking telepathically, but what I got back was an emotional response. And so it was a very overwhelming wave of emotion that nearly brought me to tears. And it was very focused. I got like a real quick image of the destruction that is occurring very local to my residence. And this is like his turf. And I was so overcome. I just had to take a couple breaths and clear that emotion away. And I just said, thank you for that. And then I had to go inside because I wasn't sure if I could handle any more. But prior to that, it had never occurred to me to try to telepathically communicate with a Sasquatch. I've used a spirit box to try to do this, but after Bill Hauser was on your show, Dave, I started thinking about that. The wheels got turning, and I'm like, well, if he comes through a spirit box, we'll try this. And so last night was actually my first telepathic response from what I believe was the Sasquatch.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We got a minute to go here. In regards to the feelings that you had with that potential telepathic communication with Sasquatch last night, you said it was quite emotional because of what's going on in the surroundings. Were you disappointed that you didn't hear any type of communication back, though, on a verbal level?
Well, kind of. But, I mean, what got my attention in the first place was a verbal vocalization from the woodline. So, and it was a call of distress almost, is what it sounded like. And every single animal in this neighborhood went nuts. My neighbor's cows, my roosters, my cats, my dogs, even the owls in the tree. I had no idea there was that many owls. There was like 10 owls all around my property that just started hooting and crying, and it was a sheer call of distress. So with that, actual words would have been beneficial, but the emotional level and the wave of the emotion that I experienced cannot compare to words, because I actually felt it.
On that note, we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Astral Travel Talk on Spaced Out Radio. We'll continue with your questions with Megan Gehring right after this. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com. A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for for your 20% discount today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting with you all from the frozen Canadian tundra at SOR headquarters. Thank you for joining us. Reminder, if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always go to our free YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. Astral Travel is the talk tonight. Megan Gehring is our guest. She's an astral traveler. She's also a paranormal and UFO alien researcher as well out of Washington State. Megan, welcome back.
Thank you.
Give a big shout out to your team member, Sarah, out there, because we love Sarah around here. We do.
Yes. No, she works super hard.
Good to have her listening in as well. Thank you, Sarah, for listening. Appreciate that. Let's get to more audience questions. Gary is asking, when you are traveling out of your body, can your pets see your astral body?
My pets? Oh, Okay, my cat, he always finds me in the physical sense, and he will come and lay on my body. So I think he's trying to protect my body while I'm gone. But he doesn't follow me around the house, astrally or not. But I have had other clients' pets follow me around. I've had a cat be very curious with me. I've actually pet a cat to calm it down in astral. I had a dog kind of alert, and then I was like, whoa, because the dog seemingly wanted to attack me. I was like, whoa. And then there was one time, to prove astral to one of my good friends, I astraled to her house, and I was on her staircase, and her dog went nuts. And I was texting her, and I told her I was going to astral, and her reply was, I cannot believe this. You just made a believer out of me because her dog went completely nuts. And so, yeah, animals can see me. However, mine kind of are more my protectors, if that kind of resonates. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on here. Jim in the UK wants to know, have you ever tried remote viewing?
So interesting, because there is a difference between astral and remote viewing. I do a form of remote viewing. I call it my taste test, and it's a preview of my clients. So I utilize it for case by case. It helps me identify how many spirits I could possibly encounter, as well as kind of the lay of the land. And if there's anything that I should be alerted to before I actually get astral. So that way I could either beef up or call in my partner, or, we do a team astral, or if I need to invoke possibly the protections of my guides or, other spirits that can assist me in, removal at the client's house. So, but as far as doing it outside of casework, I really haven't. I've actually tried to look at some pyramids down in Mexico remotely, not astral. So that was before I learned astral, and it seemed similar to the pictures, but more 3D-like. So I could kind of look at all the sides, and also I did that with the Taj Mahal recently. I wanted to see how symmetrical it was, and the pictures do not do it justice. So I have used remote viewing, but for a very small and specific purpose.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on here. Human Carl wants to know what happens if your body has to go to the bathroom while you're on the moon astral traveling.
So far that hasn't happened. But what is really weird is when I come back from astral, I swear I could drink the ocean. And yes, my first stop is the restroom. It does weird things to your body. You get very, very thirsty. And I've always joked about it, saying, well, yeah, if I went that distance, I would be thirsty. So kind of practically joking about it. But yeah, my first stop is the bathroom after each astral. So it is funny he brought that up. I'm not sure if they have restrooms on the moon, though. I could check that out.
Gary wants to know, excuse me, Megan, would you be interested in doing another radio show on his station? Really, Gary? You want me to ask that? Come on, man. Come on.
Oh.
Yes, I'll set that up for you, Gary. I'll set that up for you. Gary wants you to go on his radio station.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. Getting to it in regards to where you can travel, how you can travel. How much of a physical demand is it on you?
Oh, man. So it depends what I'm encountering. Certain portals will absolutely deplete my energy. After closing a portal, I will come home, unite with my body, and I will be wiped out. My body feels like I have been exposed to like an electrical source. So I kind of feel like my muscles are vibrating. There's a little bit of nausea involved with that on larger portals. That is one of the most physically extreme examples I could give you. Muscle soreness. Sometimes I get Charlie horses after I astral for a long time. Otherwise, it's not so bad, but I will tell you, when I do an amazing uplifting case, like there is a stuck spirit and I help them cross over, I am so energized when I get back. It feels like I slept for 8 hours, perfect rest. I'm energized. The world seems brighter. I seem like I'm floating. I love those type of cases because that you have to raise your vibrations to get the spirit to cross sometimes. And by doing that, you actually like pull them out of a spiritual shell, and their vibrations will raise too. And so you guys are almost like standing here harmonized with the vibrations, and it's this beautiful transference of energy, and then the spirit can cross over and no longer earthbound, and it is an amazing feeling. It really is. So those astrals, I am actually more energized. I feel like I just woke up and can start my day all over again. So I like those cases. I don't necessarily like the draining portals or the really low-level demonic cases because those are physically taxing. I mean, I feel like I've been through an obstacle course when I deal with a low-level entity, especially one. We're starting to encounter these things that will almost block out your vision because they leave a residue everywhere, and you have to kind of get the residue out of the way to even see. So you're almost working blindfolded, and you have to rely largely on feeling and sensory perception, and that is what is physically taxing, because by the time that I do a case like that, my whole body is exhausted.
Uncle Dale is asking, can you interact physically with other astral travelers? Could lovers who are astral travelers, who are apart from each other for some reason, enjoy each other in the astral plane?
From what I've been told, yes. The astral lovers part. I have a physical, real-life lover, which is my husband, and I will happily stay physical with him in the real world. However, I have heard cases where there's long-distance relationships, And yes, people do engage in astral relationships, and they're pretty satisfied with it. As far as my personal experience with physical interaction, I do have an astral partner, Sarah, and her and I work as a team, and we do a lot of things in astral to assist one another. Like, there was one time she was chasing this entity, and it went into the wall. Well, I went into the wall with it, and I pushed it back out, and she ended up getting it and removing it. So that physical element, you know, and I've actually grabbed an object from her before. So, like, that physical motion, totally capable in astral. So, and again, it comes down to communication and understanding your partner. And, you know, my partner and I were very much on the same brainwave when it comes to astral. So we go in with a set plan and we carry it out.
All right. Let's continue on here. Nikki is asking, have you ever astraled to a location you cannot or should not talk about? What are your feelings about those types of locations?
Oh, man. Okay. That's kind of a tough question. So I did astral to a couple places, and, like, okay, I'll just get it out here right now. Area 51, that is a zero, no-go, do not want to ever, ever, ever go astral spot. Do not ask me. I won't even think about it. So, because I was asked, actually, last night if I had ever peeked, because somebody was very curious if, you know, the storm area 51 was a good idea. Well, what is there? And I'm like, nope, not talking about it. So they assume that I went. No, I've never gone, nor will I ever. Okay, military bases are off limits to me because I respect that. They have security in place, so that is my one place I will not go. I do not go to military bases. I've been on military bases. That would be an intrusion. So I respect that. The other, it kind of sounds a little, but you got to understand, I'm a Marine. I took an oath. I'm going to uphold that oath until the day I die, and I will not intrude on a military base. So inadvertently, I ended up going to a military base in Germany, and it scared the crap out of me. So I learned from that when I was still uncontrollably astraling. So that's why I don't do it. But let's see, there was one place I went, and again, this was like south of Vietnam. I ended up finding a tunnel, and I went into it, and it was a very cavernous, very gorgeous, lush, Jurassic-type area. And it looked like it had sunlight, but yet it was underground. As soon as I started to approach the cave entrance, I felt like I should leap off the cliff and, like, fly, but I realized that this is actually a very dangerous spot, and I immediately left. Again, I kind of took an observation of my surroundings. There was no movement. The only noise were, like, tropical squeaky type birds, and then they all went quiet. And the most strange thing is I knew I was underground, but the sunlight really threw me off. So I immediately left. Will I go back there? No. It was really scary. So those are the two places that I call no zones. My military bases and whatever underground artificial sun glare I found.
Would you go back?
No. I really would not want to go back.
Let me ask you this then. Were you warned not to go back?
I felt like I was warned. There was a resounding get out of here now from my own guides. And I promptly obeyed that, and I've never returned. If I could, I would delete that location.
So let me ask you this then. Do you have to have a modicum of respect for what you are doing regarding this, because can you be tracked by, let's say, a military astral traveler or a remote viewer who may not like what you're doing?
So that is very good. Excellent question. I am doing this to help clients. And if for some reason I were to inadvertently end up on a military base, I would have to abort my own mission because, again, intrusion. And I'm not willing to risk my own self and the safety of my family for a client, no matter how dire their situation. Unfortunately, I'm doing this for free as, assistance for clients. So if it were to jeopardize me, it would not really be worth it. I do worry about that aspect. I really do, because, military is very well trained. And, I would really hate to be caught in a very sticky situation that would ultimately jeopardize myself or my family. So, self-abort and unfortunately explain to the client that we can't proceed. As far as tracking, I would imagine there's ways. In Astral, sometimes we can see strings, energy trails back to hosts, and with curses, it's very evident. You can trace a curse back to the caster, and you can determine that it was human in origin. So by using that same method, I believe the tracking is totally possible.
Kevin has a question for you. Has anything
Okay.
ever followed you back to this world?
Oh, yes. Yeah, and that's where I learned protection. I learned things the hard way, and so crash course in protection was something following me back home. I had a sticky hitchhiker and out of a case, and it was just a dark parasitic leech thing, but yeah, it followed me back home. I did not appreciate it, so I took steps to protect myself, which would be grounding and shielding and making sure I'm in the proper frame of mind before I astral, and then I have a protocol after I astral to peel a layer off of me. That way things are not remaining, and then I will sever my own cords, except for my top cord. That way I kind of clean up after myself. It's like going into the woods. You leave no trace. So I kind of pick up all my energy strands and I bring them back home with me. And so far it has been a fail-safe practice, but I have to be vigilant about it because one little slip up and I can end up with, a crazy poltergeist in my house or something.
All right, let's move on here, as we got about 3.5 minutes before we got to go to break. Okay. Human Carl is asking, speaking about intrusion, can you be detected by some type of equipment?
I would really love to find that out. We had a plan set up to actually test that, but then we got sidetracked with cases and never followed through. So by we, I mean my astral partner, Sarah. So because she wanted to know if she could speak through my spirit box. And I have the spirit box and I have an EMF detector, so I wanted her to come to my house and we wanted to play with my equipment. But like I said, we got sidetracked with cases and we never followed through with that. So, but in theory, because she should be appearing on an energy plane, it should be detectable.
Intriguing. Mm-hmm. I think we can sneak in one more question here. This one comes from Catherine, who is asking, has your body ever been abducted while you're in astral?
Not while I was in astral, no. Thank goodness. Because that would probably be bad. Like, really bad. If I didn't know where my body was, I couldn't get... Wow. That is a really good question. No, I have not been abducted. It does make me go, I shouldn't be humming, but
Is that a potential reality?
If the timing was right, absolutely. And that would be terrifying. That would open the door for so much. I mean, I would be astrally stuck in Astral, and my physical body would be in an undetermined location, possibly off-world.
Or in a deep underground military base.
Or in a deep underground military base, which would not be good. Because, yeah. You
don't seem excited by that.
I'm not going to play around with that one, okay? I'll play with my equipment. I'm not going to play around with that one. I'm sorry.
But it just goes to show, as we got about 30 seconds before we go to break here, there is a fine line between using and abusing this gift of astral travel.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dave, I actually caught a person at a client's house, astrally. I astraled because she kept hearing her doorknob jingle, like somebody was trying to come in. She messaged me at the moment. I jumped on it, went into Astral, and boom, I caught another man astraling, and he was manipulating the doorknob.
Why would somebody do that?
Well, sad truth of the matter is she was reaching out to psychic healers and helpers, and he offered to help her. Well, he was kind of the advantageous kind, and he was pushing the limits of their, messaging. And basically, yeah.
I see where you're going with that. Megan, you hold on. Yeah. We're going to go to break here. Yep. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go on Spaced Out Radio. Coming up, more astral travel, the SOR Newswire, and the Thought of the Day next.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother is watching.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have each and every one of you listening in. We want to welcome back everyone listening in on KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, down in Dangerfield, Texas. We are on AM 1560 KDNF. On the digital side, we broadcast live on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Nebelwerfer. Nebelwerfer is your password. Nobody knows what it means, but the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including checking out our SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk updates it daily. Astral travel is the topic tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Our guest, astral traveler, paranormal investigator, researcher, Megan Gehring. Megan, thank you so much for tuning on. And you're going to stick around for the news as well, which is kind of cool.
Of course. Of course. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody listening.
We are having fun tonight. Fun. Anyways, I'm really enjoying this because I love this topic. I really do. I'm going to get to another question. Then I want to get into your dealings with extraterrestrials. Nikki is asking, okay, in Astral, how many alien species have you encountered?
Oh, boy. Several. I've had interactions with different grays. About 4 of them. I've came across a reptilian gray hybrid. It was a very tall gray with a reptilian tail and kind of a pointier face than a typical gray. The Pleiadians, of course. An ancient Pleiadian, he had a way bigger head than the normal Pleiadian, and it was kind of wrinkly. Let's see. Of course, Dave's tall guys from way past Orion. I have dealt with Anunnaki. I believe there was actually an angelic Anunnaki that I have dealt with just recently. Which was a surprise. The vibration on that one was through the roof high. I actually had to question if it was an angel or off-world being, and I kind of got a mixed message that it was both. That one was very interesting. Also, tiny little light beings that identified as off-world. I'm not sure what they were, but they were very small light beings, under a foot high. I would say 8 inches high. I'm not sure what those were, because some of them don't tell me what they are. I know I'm forgetting one. Oh, a mantid. Dealt with mantids, unfortunately. I accidentally killed one, which I regret, because mantids are really not that harmful in my experience. So, yeah, quite the plethora of off-world experience there. And those were all coming here. I didn't go off-world and seek them. They all were here.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. When you are going out on an astral case, I guess that's what we call it, I'm curious in regards to what it's like. Because let's say you have somebody who is dealing with some pretty scary UFO alien type contact. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing. They just want to know that they want it to stop. Take us through what you go through during one of these cases.
Okay, so typical case preparation would be to make contact with the client, get all the pertinent information that we find of value. So we will ask them their location, what they have experienced, if there was any feelings associated with what they were seeing or feeling, like, if there was low vibrations, if they felt a touch, was it hot, was it cold, do they have sleep paralysis? We need to rule out medical conditions, which, some clients aren't super excited about answering medical information. I'm in no way a doctor, but basically it's like, have you been evaluated for, a sleep study, or, have you, had sleep paralysis before? Did you have night terrors as a child? So those are just basic questions. Are you on heart medication? Because sometimes that heart medication or anything for anxiety can alter your hormone levels to where it is a idiopathic response to your environment. So sometimes the medication can cause you to have hot and cold chills where you feel it's not your body doing it, but it's the room. So those are just very basic questions that we like to rule out. Once we get all that established, then it is, well, is anybody else in your family experiencing this? Do you have a history of experiencing, seeing craft or possible, missing time even? So we go through, we by asking these questions, we really build a rapport with our clients. We want them to trust us. We ensure that they're being tended to on a one-on-one basis. We like to take cases one at a time. So sometimes if another case comes in and we're already working on a case, we are very adamant about saying, I'm sorry, we're working on a case, give us a couple days, and we'll start to collect their information. So at least we get that other case kind of in queue before we jump into it. So while we're working on client one thoroughly, we make sure that they feel comfortable with us, because they need to trust us and the quality of care before we're actually in Astral. Because if they have any hesitations, that's kind of reflected in Astral too. They could be very nervous and throw up like block us from a lot of things in Astral. So it takes a lot more energy on our side to break down those barriers so we can remove like an attachment or whatever. So we really focus on client care, and then once that's done, we can actually do the Astral portion, which would involve the taste test, kind of like the remote viewing. We verify, bounce it off privately, not in front of the client. We verify what we feel the situation is. We come up with a plan, and then we go in and execute that plan, which would be, okay, we've got 2 entities to remove and a possible off-world contact. We're needing to check the client for, an implant, which we have the capability of disabling or communicating with Grays, usually, to come in and remove it. So sometimes there's toxic contracts, which can kind of get really messy because Grays are very by the book, like, no, they had a contract. So kind of takes some schmoozing to convince them that this person really doesn't want this and it's harming them. And most of the times it's a successful removal or disabling of a tracking device that they would be using. So that's an off-world scenario. So once the client situation has been successfully rectified, we go through protection methods, how to prevent this, what they can do on their own end. Okay, and that would be like raising their vibrations, being grateful, being thankful, practicing like the laws of attraction. If you think negative things are going to happen to you. If you think positive things will happen to you. Find the light in all of this darkness. And just mostly be present, be in the moment, be with yourself, understand yourself, and learn from it. You constantly have to learn. And even, psychic people and sensitives and people who do astral, we constantly have to learn to keep that, that we got to keep raising the bar, or else we're going to become stagnant. And that is an injustice to the people that we're trying to help. So with that, the final step is to make sure that the client feels comfortable, and then basically kind of wean off the communication and make sure that they are maintaining and following what we have instructed them to do. And if there's any further instances, they can rest assured we can always come back and check it out. So that is a very detailed process of how we would deal with a single client case.
When you are dealing on that type of energy of extraterrestrials, are you dealing with them on the astral plane as well, or are they in the physical form?
So most of the off-worlders that we've encountered are in astral. So I'm trying to think. Every single one of my cases personally has been astral. I believe that there was one former teammate of mine that had a astral to physical confrontation. So, and actually my partner Sarah may have had an astral to physical confrontation as well. Like the off-worlder was in physical form in front of the client and she astraled to it. But all of mine have been sheerly astral.
So when you see them in the astral realm, are you seeing them in a physical form in the astral, or are they just some sort of spiritual energy?
Yes. No. Okay. I misunderstood the question. Yes. When I see them in astral, I can actually see their shape if they reveal it. Sometimes they are light beings, or their light is distorting, almost like either strobe or so bright like you barely bear to look at it. But 9 out of 10 times I have seen ETs, extraterrestrials in their actual form. So, like, I was dealing with a client who needed a, implant removal. I actually called in her guy, and her guy was this little gray, and I saw him for what he was, about a 3.5, 4 foot tall gray. So I communicated with him telepathically in astral, and I described him to her. And also when I saw the mantid, that was actually the same case. The mantid was under the apartment complex, acting as a sentry guard in front of a tunnel that Greys and reptilians were using, and basically I saw the mantid in full color, full astral. I saw every movement he was doing, and he was kind of flagging with his spiky arm. So, it was very vivid, very detailed, and that was all in astral.
When you are going through this and you all of a sudden see these aliens, what exactly are they doing? Are they attacking? Are they waiting for opportunity? What does that go through? What is that like?
Okay, so the mantid was a surprise, and I think I surprised him about as much as he surprised me. That's why he started flagging his arm like he was like doing a signal to people, entities behind him, I should say, because as soon as he hesitated with the signaling, a bunch of Greys came flooding out of the tunnel. So ultimately we ended up getting into combat because we felt we were under attack. However, with the Grey up in the apartment where I went to remove my client's implant, he came, and he was very peaceful. But also, at that moment, I was very peaceful. So I think it's kind of a tit for tat. And I have been told, actually by R. Keith Andrews, present yourself peacefully. When dealing with off-world, you present yourself peacefully. So I'm trying my best to do that, but it is a natural reaction when you see a swarm of beings that you are not familiar with running at you to kind of put up your defenses and possibly attack first by accident. And that is exactly what happened. So a bunch of grays flooded past the mantid, and poor mantid got destroyed, the tunnel got destroyed, all the grays got obliterated. So that's what happened, because we were not going to get attacked in Astral. Like, we shot first and never asked questions. And I feel very bad, because really that could have probably been mitigated. But it wasn't. It is what it is. So the only time I've actually had a hostile alien come at me was when I was already hostile. So what R. Keith Andrews said about presenting yourself peacefully really rings true.
For a lot of people who have not met R. Keith Andrews, you know, he is somebody who, when you listen to him, and he's here the first Friday of every month with the ET Connection, they don't take him seriously. They don't take him for the real deal. They think it's a guy just putting on an act and making up a bunch of these weird, strange stories regarding aliens. You've met Keith. What's your opinion?
Oh, yeah. He is so quirky, but you cannot help but hang on every word. And a lot of times I thought he was joking. I really thought he was joking. But once you get about 5 minutes into one of his stories, well, it helps to see his face, too. Because if you're actually looking at him, he is so sincere when he's saying his recounts and when he's recounting some of these events or experiences. But yeah, I like the guy. I instantly like the guy, and he is a wealth of knowledge. And I think the quirky factor is it's because he knows so much beyond what I thought was possible. And so initially it comes off quirky, but then it's like you actually want to hear more from him. And if you can get past his big words and kind of interpret it for yourself, it's actually I look forward to learning even a smidgen of what he knows. And so far, he has never given me poor advice. His advice has been true, and he has always assisted me in dealing with off-world entities. Because trust me, when I ran into that mantid, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I'm like, big bug, like on my chat screen. All I typed was big bug. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know that a mantid was an alien. I didn't know. So luckily, I had the team behind me. They were able to say, oh, it's mantid. Do this, and whatever. So R. Keith has given me that information, and at least I can utilize it, and it's never been wrong. It's amazing. So all you have to do is get past the little quirks and, kind of the way he uses some big words. I'm a pretty simple person. And sometimes I get hung up on his words, but if I could just interpret it for myself, he actually has amazing advice. I wish he'd read a book about it, like all of the alien races. That is a book I would buy 10 of.
Yeah, he's a fun guy to be around. Very, very fun guy to be around. And you look at him and you're like, because he's got the big bushy hair and the big sideburns, big mutton chops for sideburns. And you look at him and you're like, you are a big dork. You look like a big dork. And Then you get into a conversation with him, and he's highly intelligent. Highly intelligent.
Yeah, big words.
Intelligent. Big
No,
words.
he's super intelligent, and I mean, yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, I listened to him before I met him, and then when I met him, I was just like, wow. Like, I wanted to go back and listen to all of his, airings, on radio, and I was like, geez, I'm missing so much information.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah,
for
those sideburns, yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty awesome. Sideburns
They
are
are
pretty
something
awesome.
of legend. They are something of legend for sure.
They really are. They absolutely are. We only got about 2.5 minutes left with you tonight before we get to the news. You're going to be sticking around for the news. But this portion is almost complete. Where can people, in your opinion, learn how to astral travel if they want to check it out?
Oh, man. Okay, so there is so many YouTube videos. You guys could probably lose yourself for days. If you guys want a ultimate experience, really, Richard Benek. He's associated with Forest Moon Paranormal, or you could look him up on Facebook. He does a course probably 2 to 4 times a year. So I spoke about it earlier in the program. He is very regimented, very meticulous with how he does astral. However, he does not teach astral combat or much of the protection that I spoke of. Like, I need to protect myself when I'm in astral. I do a triphasic protection. So he really does not hit on the protection methods. He just wants you to get to the astral plane. That's his goal. He's wonderful. Yeah, it's a lot of work, though. You really have to dedicate yourself. There is papers and feedback and everything that is required of you, plus your time. It's a 4-week course. That one is one I would recommend. Some people actually seek one-on-one counseling from, or not counseling, but guidance. There's a lot of people, but be careful who you pick. Okay, I had a client who picked someone, and he ended up intruding on her personal space, unwarranted and unasked. Listen to your gut. If something seems off, do not go with it. The best thing is to figure out what you are capable of. Try it. If it's not for you, no worries.
On that note, thank you so much, Megan Gehring. Always a pleasure. Let's get to the news, shall we?
Of course.
All right. Megan's going to stick with us through the news here on Spaced Out Radio, the SOR Newswire, and the Thought of the Day coming on up.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today. Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for tuning us in. Want to remind all of you that if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always check out our free YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Speaking of the news, we're going to be joined by Megan Gehring during the news here. Let's get to it. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, those stories that just make you think. That's what we love to do. You can check out all our news once again at spacedoutradio.com. Megan, welcome back.
Hello. Yes, thank you.
Do you like a good burger?
I love.
All right. Here's a good one. The George Pub and Grill in County Durham, the UK, has recently reopened its doors following a fire earlier this year, and business is back with a bang. Why? A brand new burger challenge for customers. Called the Big Ben, number 10, for £28. The dish features a stack of 10 burgers smothered in cheese and bacon. You can never go wrong with this combination right now, Megan. Never go wrong.
No.
There's also a side of chips. Well, the whole thing weighs about 1.5 kilograms and contains 12,000 calories, 5 times more than your daily recommended intake. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, I got to do this. I have no choice. Anyways, if that burger doesn't seem crazy enough, if the unexpected happens, you may be, well, at least your family would be, a little bit richer. Because here's what happens. If you go and have a heart attack while eating this burger, they are going to pay compensation up to £500 of money towards your headstone.
Oh.
Should anybody die eating the Big Ben number 10? The owner says this burger is absolutely stacked high with juicy meat from top to bottom, 60 ounces of beef tipped with so much cheese and 25 bacon rashers. If people want, they can add further dollop the liquid cheese over the whole dish, which, by the way, makes it even tastier. This burger will go down as bragging rights with friends, and I can see all the big eaters going for our Big Ben number 10. With over 12,000 calories, the meal comes with a warning: eat at your own risk. I want this burger.
My goodness. Right?
By the way, competitive eater Kyle Gibson took on the challenge, polished everything off, including every last morsel of French fries, in 21 minutes, 56 seconds, says that was the best burger he'd ever tasted. My mouth is watering. My mouth is watering.
I think mine is, too. To eat that amount of meat. Oh, my goodness, in 21 minutes?
Oh, I could do that. I could do that. All right. When traveling through California, watch for falling bears. Yeah. So a police car has been written off because a bear fell out of the sky and absolutely destroyed the vehicle, causing it to explode. A sheriff's deputy was on his way to the reports of a drug overdose when the bear either fell or jumped onto the hood. The bear smashed the windshield with the car hitting an embankment, rolling onto its side and bursting into flames. The fire spread for about half an acre and gutted the patrol vehicle, but the deputy managed to escape without serious injury. California's Department of Transportation issued a reminder to drivers to stay alert and be aware of the nature around them as they use the roads. It said, bears, elk, and deer are just some of the critters sharing our coastal home. Don't worry, the bear also fled the scene. What the hell is a bear doing jumping on a cop car? Like, was he with his buddies and said, hey, hold my honey here. I'm doing this. I am doing this.
Yogi got a really good basket.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. He's one up to his bear friends right there. All right.
Oh, no.
Let me ask you this. You ever posted a photo that maybe showed too much and you were like, oh, I got to get that off social media right off the bat?
Me? Post a photo?
Yeah, you never do. Unless it's with your chickens.
No.
Anyways.
Exactly.
Comedian Whitney Cummings went on Twitter today and tweeted out a photo of her own nipple after some followers used it to try and extort money from her. So Whitney, who's a beautiful lady, she's gorgeous. Anyways, she said she accidentally posted the image on Instagram in April, but deleted it soon afterwards. Someone took a screenshot and sent it to her with the message, how much would it cost to not share this photo? Reposting the photo, Cummings wrote, if anyone is going to make money on the likes of my nipple, it's going to be me. So here it is, everyone, you foolish dorks. People later posted their own embarrassing photos with the hashtag #IStandWithWhitney, including comedian Bert Kreischer, who tweeted a picture of his injured testicles. So Cummings had... Really? Your bagels? Come on, Bert, you're better than that. That's not even funny. Anyways, Cummings went on to say that she posted on an Instagram story of herself eating a lychee fruit or a lychee fruit?
Lychee.
In the bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
Lychee. Okay. Well, she was in the bubble bath while she was eating this without realizing that part of her breast and nipple were in the frame. After she noticed it, she deleted it. And then, of course, some pervert grabbed a hold of it and wanted to hold her ransom. So she goes on to say, they must all think that I am way more famous than I am, but they also must think I'm way more easily intimidated than I am. She then posted a screenshot of one of the messages she received along with the photo itself. When a woman in the public eye is extorted, we have to spend time, money, and energy dealing with it, hiring lawyers and security experts and living with a pit in our stomach about when and how we will be humiliated. Y'all can have my nipple, but not my time or money anymore, she said. Good for her.
Good for her, yes.
By the way, it's at Whitney Cummings if you want to see the boob shot. I checked it out today. It was pretty nice. So, there you go. Are you left-handed?
No, but I used to be.
I am. Today's Happy Left-Handers Day. From scissors.
Excellent.
I hate scissors. I really do, because I've never found a left-handed pair. And smudging ink to spiral-bound notebooks and the impossible to use tin openers, the lefty's life struggle is real. Well, it's International Left-Handers Day, observed annually on August 13th in celebration of the uniqueness and differences of our fellow lefties. Dean R. Campbell, founder of the Left-Handers International, Inc., first observed the day in 1976 to help raise awareness of the advantages and disadvantages of being left-handed. Annual observances continued after the first recognition by Campbell, and the day was later declared an official celebration by the Left-Handers Day Club on August 13th, 1997. Today, many left-handers take to social media on August 13th to share the challenges and inconveniences they face in a predominantly right-handed world. Damn it, right-handers, give us our left-handed needs, man. Make this world a left-handed place. I am offended. I need a safe room because I haven't figured out. You know what you right-handers don't really get, especially if you're a man? I don't know how it works for a woman, but if you're a man, okay, all underwear opens from the right side. You have to do everything backwards. You try having to go to the bathroom, and it's one of those that you got to go now. Everybody's had that one. And you don't know the struggle of being left-handed until you have right-handed boxer shorts on. Or Fruit of the Looms.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't know about the boxer shorts, but that's why I'm now a right-handed person, Dave. It's just a right-hand world, and I used to drive stick shift, and I'm now right-handed.
Are you a convert?
I am. A successful convert.
Oh, you're one of them. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I just adapted and overcame, and, life is better. I'm sorry. But you know what I do want? I want a left-handed measuring glass. Because the Imperial is on the right-handed side. And I want a left-handed side with the cups. Because, Americans use cups. But I'm getting really good at reading Imperial.
Canadians use cups, too, just so you know.
Well, I want a left-handed cup measurer. Just putting it out there. Because that is the one thing.
Boxer shorts.
That is the one thing. That's the one hang-up I still have in this life is I always grab with my left hand to hold it up and measure. And yep. I'm so backwards on it.
Looking in the chat room, Quest says, serves you left-handers right. Over the boxer short comment. You have no idea of the pain, my friend. You have no idea of the pain. Oh, I hope you never experience it. Ever. All right, let's move on. Residents of a Virginia neighborhood were left scratching their heads when unknown pranksters wearing what appeared to be televisions on their heads left vintage TVs on their local porches. Neighbors in the Glen Allen neighborhood said the doorbell cameras recorded what appeared to be a person wearing a television on their head or a masked model after a TV, leaving a vintage TV on their porch. Police said they believe the mysterious figure was several different people. At more than 50 televisions were left on various porches. Henrico County Police worked with solid waste divisions to haul away the unwanted TV sets. Police have urged residents who spot suspicious activity to contact investigators, but it was unclear whether any crime had been committed. Some residents said a similar prank occurred about a year ago when about 20 TVs were left on various porches. The perpetrators were not caught on camera during that incident. Well, they got a photo of this guy. He's wearing like a one-piece overall suit. Like a mechanic would wear. He's wearing gloves, and he's got a TV on his head. I'm not sure if it's black and white or color. Irrelevant. But here they are taking all of these old tube-type televisions, not the flat screens, the tubes, and leaving them on the porch. I think this is brilliant. I would love for that to happen to me. I would. It would be amazing. What a prank. Innocent. Nobody gets hurt. It's fantastic. I hope this guy continues, Megan.
Where did they get that amount of CRT televisions?
Oh, I'm sure, you pick them up on Craigslist, garage sales, people selling them for like $1 or $2 because, they're old. They're 20-some years old. Nobody has those
They're
anymore.
more than 20. They're more than 20. That's why I'm like, was he stockpiling them for like a decade?
Could be.
That's
Could
a
be.
lot of TV.
A lot of thrift stores would still have them too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Let's get to the final one. We're going, usually a story like this would come out of Florida. All right.
Oh, no.
But this time it happens here in British Columbia on Vancouver Island. An escaped emu blocked a busy road and forced the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to use a taser on it to slow it down. North Cowichan Duncan RCMP, they literally went fisticuffs with a 5-foot-tall emu weighing approximately 100 pounds, which escaped from a farm near Chabannes. Beautiful country there. That was this morning. Mounties say the large flightless bird decided to stand firm in the middle of the Chabannes Road. It was a decision that it would ultimately force police to take action. According to frontline officers, it was getting ugly, and the animal caused a major disturbance to traffic. People were late for work and to get their coffee at Starbucks and Tim Hortons. My goodness. 30 minutes traffic was delayed because the emu was on protest. Animal control officers were called to the scene, but the escaped creature with powerful and dangerous legs was already agitated. So what do? They stunned him. Not a stone cold stunner. No, that would have been even better. No, they took the taser out, gave a stun. Sergeant Chris Swain says, our primary concern is always safety, not only to the public, but to our officers, but also to the animals. Once in police custody, the emu was returned to the neighbor's farm, where the animal is said to be in perfect health. Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. You know what? No, Dave, that is a testimony to Canadian politeness. I'm sorry, because if that would have happened here, where I'm at, that thing would have been on a dinner plate.
The emu survived dinner right there. All right, Fun of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. We're going to have to get through them quick. The emu story took a little bit longer. What's it like to astral travel? What did or do you see? Start off with Eugene. Astral travel is being vaguely or completely conscious that you are in spirit form, but outside of your physical body. You could go do anything you want. You'll naturally have 360-degree vision, which is called spherical consciousness, which allows one to see and feel anything in time and space. But the best part is the absorption of all the powerful cosmic energy, which expands your spiritual perceptions and abilities many, many times over. Thank you, my brother Eugene. Love you lots. Got to get you back on the show very soon. Gabe, I wish I knew, Gabe says. Been trying for years. Gail, happened only once, had just read an article about astral travel, and I was very curious. That night, I found myself going straight to a Rob Zombie concert, because I love him. Once there, I was checking out the rock and roll music, then circling around the concert bowl where he was playing, looking for a good place where I could meet him. When I realized what I was doing, and it was real, I went straight back to me and my bed. I haven't done it since. Gail loves her Rob Zombie. Loves it.
Right.
Karen, I have definitely done this since I was a toddler. It's like being on the edge of a huge, gentle rubber band in space that allows you to stretch almost forever. Edith, really. I used to travel and meet my ex-boyfriend from 31 years ago. It's so odd. The dreams we had were so realistic, and we usually just sat and talked. I would always wake with this insane sense of sadness and happiness. That happened about 10, 15 times over the years, and believe it or not, we are back together now. Catherine. Waves of colorful energy and impressions of the environment, also real life. Double Bobby. I've only had very short ones, but if a dream is like watching a movie and a lucid dream is like watching a play, then OBE or astral is like being on stage during improv. Your level of self-awareness is as high as waking life. Lewis! We all astral travel. Some remember, most do not. We all do it in our dreams. One day, we will know that for time travel, we don't need ships or to bend space-time. We have always had the capability within us. Craig, you get the final word. Says, it is possible to travel and not remember. I seldom remember dreams as it is. I ask because I will wake abruptly with anxious feelings and a feeling that something dropped me from a height. It's hard to explain. That's called aliens, Craig. It's called aliens dropping you back in your bed. Hate to tell you, I'll be the heartbreaker right there. It's aliens, Craig. Hey, thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Dave on Twitter and Facebook. We will do it all again tomorrow. And a big thanks to Captain Shirk for putting our news together on the SOR Newswire, which can be found at spacedoutradio.com. Megan Gehring, thank you for going the distance with us, my friend.
Oh, anytime. Thank you, Dave, and thank you to all the SOR community and listeners. It was awesome.
It was awesome. It was fantastic, Megan Gehring. Astral travel, the topic. You can head on over if you missed it. Go to our YouTube channel. It'll be right there in about a short time. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the only music that we play and the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms on Revolution Radio, Spreaker, the SOR Space Travelers Club on Facebook, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, wherever you may be. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you for sharing your show, or allowing us to share our show and your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home.
We're watching.
Let's rock it out. I know, it's awesome. Mr. Bumblefoot, take us away. Oh, I love it. I love it, Megan.
No, that is like the most epic music. Yeah.
It is. Megan, say goodnight to everybody.
Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night. See you soon.